And this ain't even all of them. Hey folks, I am going to be telling you all about my October reads and everything that I'm hoping to get through this month. As always, it's a lot. So first off, what's happening in October? Well, it's my birthday month. I was born on the 13th of October 1996, meaning I'm probably not going to get a lot of reading done. But on top of that, it is also Carrie's birthday month. Carrie from Caring for Books, who is obviously linked down below, is born on the 15th of October. So I wanted to make this month Carrie themed. We adore all of the same books, and so I wanted to read a lot of the books that she's gifted me or that she's told me that I'm going to love, just to try and get through those, and I think it means I'll have an amazing reading month because we have such similar taste, so I should have a lot of like 4-star, 5-star reads, which will be fantastic. And then on top of that, the big overarching thing that's going on, Gothtober. So excited. So I will obviously leave Hannah, Olivia and Ali's videos linked down in the description below. They are all the co-hosts. This was created by Hannah from .im. Gothtober is a huge readathon throughout the entire month of October where you try and read as many gothic books as possible. So obviously I wanted to take part in this. Duh. So I had to try and squeeze the Carrie side of things into the Gothtober prompt. So the pile that I have is how that's worked out. So we'll see how they've managed to link it in. It's surprising no one. October is going to be a busy month for me. I say it is going to be. It's the 1st of October as I film this. I finished my first October book. You'll see in a minute. Because time management. But also I'm going to be going down to London to go and see the England versus US football match, which I'm ridiculously excited for. That's a birthday present from my partner. And then my actual birthday, my parents are going to come down to visit, and then my friends want to come to visit, so it's going to be a busy month. So as always I have a massive, huge TBR and no time to read. Let's dive straight into it. I'm going to go with the book that doesn't fit any of the prompts, because I finished it already. Anyone guess what this one is? It's Babel. So yeah, Babel or Babel. I say it the American way and I don't know why. The English way is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I finished this morning. I'm filming this like on 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 1st of October. So I finished the last 80 pages of this morning. I loved it. 4 stars. It didn't quite have the 5-star vibes, but you'll get that in my October wrap-up, which seems ridiculous because I'm about to also film my September wrap-up. But yeah, that's when you're gonna get that. It's really good. So good. There's so many amazing messages in here. I think that if I let this sit, it might become a 5-star. It just wasn't a gut reaction 5-star. Instead it's one of those ones that like everyone has to read. You need to read it. Just my personal opinion on one of the characters. Letty can go fuck herself. Just throwing that one out there. On to the Gothtober prompts. So for Gothtober, Hannah and, well, her brother Kieran set up a game that we all play to pick our prompts. You go through this game as a final girl, that's the theme for this year, and it then gives you your prompts at the end, depending on the choices that you've picked. Here are my prompts. It's horizontal. Really unhelpful. But yeah, here's my prompt. So, not going in the order that the prompts are in, because when would I ever do anything logically? First up we have a book that is heavy, a heavy book. Now this could obviously mean physically heavy, it could mean heavy in the substance that's included in it, lots of different variations of what it could be. I'm going with The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. This is going to be a buddy read with Carrie. We're going to be reading these sections each day. I need to get on this for today's section. This book is set in 12th century England, so that's got a lot of times of like civil war, unrest with the monarchy, lots of stuff like that, but the book follows the building of a massive, magnificent cathedral. This kind of gives me Dark Academia vibes, but obviously I've not read it, so I don't know. 1088 pages. It's a big one. So yeah, this gives me Dark Academia vibes, but like, I don't know why, because it shouldn't be. I think it's because it's old and cathedral. I think that is what it is. But that is what I'm going for the heavy book prompt. Where am I putting these? Then another one of my prompts is to read a murder mystery book, and so I think I'm managing to squeeze in a book that Hannah wants me to read this month, and that is How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. All I know about this one is that our main character is a serial killer, but she doesn't kill who she is thought to have killed and the reason why she's in prison. She did not commit that crime in that murder. And so it's about her trying to kind of get revenge on whoever set her up in this way. That's all I know. It is one of the pinkest books on my shelves. Hannah thinks I'll enjoy it. She's usually very good with recommendations for me. Like, I mean, she's good with recommendations for everyone, just saying. Like, Waypoint Books has a service where they'll recommend you books and then you buy them and then, mwah! I'm excited. Then next up I've got two books that could do for 3 and 4 prompts respectively, and those are Sorrowland by Rivers Solomon and The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. So I have the Illumicrate edition of The Book Eaters. I do think they did as good with this as they could do, considering how gorgeous the original cover is, which is just this but in like brown themes and without the silver around the outside. Like, it's gorgeous, gorgeous. Both of these work for the prompts for BIPOC, BAME representation, disability representation and LGBTQ+ representation, and then I was gonna do this one for like a gothic mood read because I'm always down for like violence and death. This one is a plot where there's these people who eat books and that's how they kind of live and they sustain themselves, but the main character's son decides that he wants to eat people to gain their stories. It's about death, always down for that. And this is described as a visceral work of gothic fiction, so obviously I need to read this, and I got this from Waypoint Books, just saying. These are both fantastic sounding reads and I'm very, very excited to dive into them. And yes, I mean, this could also be a mood read, because I'm always down for River Solomon. I adore their writing. I've loved everything I've read from them so far. So, these, very exciting. Then before I forget about it, I'm going to go for the book that is a beautiful book. A lot of the books that are on my TBR could count for that, but I am squeezing in Mindwalker by Kate Dillon, and that is my Goldsborough GSFF book for the month. It hasn't arrived yet because we are having Royal Mail strikes here in the UK. They've told me, Royal Mail has emailed me that they've got it, they're just not going to deliver it yet because they're striking. So at least I know they have it. It is a sci-fi book and this is all I know. So, but it's bright pink and I don't really read pink books, but apparently that's what this month is, so we're vibing with it. Next up is the prompt for a book that completes you, and obviously this is difficult to do if you're not doing a reread, and I have enough books on my TBR and I'm expecting to get enough books in October that I really shouldn't be rereading. So instead I went with Foundation by Mercedes Lackey. This is one of the books that I wanted to read before the end of the year because my uncle, who runs a fantastic page called On This Gay Day, he gifted me this. Uncle recommendations have been fantastic so far, and Carrie loves this and therefore I should love it too, so why not read it? All I know about this is that it's a high fantasy book. Magpie has slaved in the gem mines of Valdemar for as long as he can remember. Overworked and underfed, he has nowhere else to go until a stranger and 2 huge white horses force their way into the quarry looking for him. This is all I know. It should be good. Then for the prompt of a book that I forgot that I had, and I am going with Dracula by Bram Stoker. This was gifted to me by Olivia from Olivia Savannah, one of the co-hosts. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to get to it. And I just keep forgetting that I haven't read this and that I actually have it on my shelves now. Olivia sent it to me a little while ago now. I can't remember exactly when. Yes, I can because I've just read it. She sent me it at Christmas 2021. Wow, the rain's getting heavy. Perfect vibes. I think it's time that I get to it. I think she would agree that I've picked the right month to decide to read it. Dracula is one of the original vampire stories. I've never read any of the vampire classics, so I'm really excited to dive into this one and just see how I enjoy it. And I like reading at least one classic a month, so it'll be fun to delve into this one. And then the final prompt that I'm completing, but not my final book on my TBR, is a book that has a training montage in it. Now, there were quite a few books that I could have went with for this one, and one that I was so tempted by was Rage of Dragons, but that is a pretty big read and I've got a pretty busy month. Instead, I went with The Gilded Ones by Nomina Fauna, which is supposed to have training montage in it. So this is based in a world where if you have golden blood, you're singled out. It's a negative thing and you're trained up to fight. I don't know. That's the synopsis I have on my edition. Everyone seems to really enjoy this. Sounds like a fantastic concept and it has a training montage, so on the TBR it goes. Then we all know that I like to read one non-fiction a month roughly if I can, and so this month I'm going to go with one that Carrie sent me. She sent me a lot of my non-fiction, and that is The Ends of the World by Peter Brannan. I know that you've sent me some other books that also would have like fit really well into Gothtober, but it's my month as well and I love natural disasters. Leave me alone. It's all about volcanic apocalypses, lethal oceans, and our quest to understand Earth's past mass extinctions. If you know me at all, you know that this should be right up my street. Very excited for this one. And then the final one on my official TBR is because Celine yelled at me. Thanks, Celine. Again, link down below if I remember. Oh, I've got a lot of links to do. Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. This is another one that was gifted to me by the wonderful Olivia, and I'm pretty sure Carrie recommends this, and if she doesn't, I may have to recommend it to her. Celine saw that I still hadn't read it and was like, read it. So it's on my October TBR, so you can stop yelling at me now. This is about a young boy named Fitz, who is the bastard son of the Prince of the Realm. When he then ends up being sent back to the castle, then his father, the prince, abdicates the throne and runs away. And so no one's quite sure what to do with Fitz, until the king then realises that the fact that he has royal blood but isn't technically royal means that he would be the perfect candidate to train up as an assassin. I know that the entire series is probably going to break my heart, which is probably partly why Olivia put it on my TBR, but I'm also really looking forward to it. And that is technically my TBR, technically. But I read a ridiculous amount in September. Like, honestly, genuinely keep an eye out for my September wrap-up because, like, fucking hell. I don't know how I managed it. So I wanted to kind of have a few more books on standby. I don't think I'll get through as many books this month, but just in case. And so I got myself a stack of books that are, I'm going to put it back down, books that are Carrie recommendations that also I think mostly fit the vibes of what I would want to read in October. So I'm going to very quickly blast through all of these just so that you know what's on the list. Bitter Blue by Kristen Cushaw, the third book in the Grisling series. Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho. Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. The Girl in the Steel Corset by Katie Cross. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Flyboys by James Bradley. Godsgrave by J. Christoph. And Pompeii by Mary Beard. And these are all books that either Carrie has purchased me directly, has recommended, or that I think fit our vibes of like joint books that we love and that I want to read. That is the extra list. As I mentioned, everyone will be linked down below, so please genuinely go and check out everyone. Hannah's video to introduce Gothtober this year. Mwah, I thought it couldn't get better from last year. It did. Fantastic. Please go check them all out. It's still not too late to join in with Gothtober. You can double up, triple up, get as many prompts as you can into one book, so you can always just try and squeeze it in with 1 or 2 reads if you don't read as much. Please do come and join us because it's going to be a lot of fun, lots of live shows as well, so keep an eye on the Gothtober Twitter. If you'd like to end up seeing what I read in September and that giant wrap-up that's coming soon, or if you want to see how I manage during Gothtober, then please do hit the subscribe button down below, and if you did enjoy the video, please hit like to tell YouTube that it wasn't awful. Let me know down in the comments what you are going to be reading in October. Are you going for gothic reads? Is that not your vibe? Let me know, and I will see you folks in the next video. Bye!